Hi, my name is Ilma and welcome to my channel. I've been posting Christian blogs for almost 11 years next month. Today I'd like to share Psalm 106 verses 24 to 31. And here's the word of God. Then they despised the pleasant land, having no faith in his promise. They murmured in their tents and did not obey the voice of the Lord. Therefore he raised his hand and swore to them that he would make them fall in the wilderness, and would make their offspring fall from the nations, scattering them among the lands. Then they yoked themselves to the Baal of Peor, and ate sacrifices offered to the dead. They provoked the Lord to anger with their deeds, and a plague broke out among them. Then Phinehas stood up and intervened, and the plague was stayed, and that was counted to him as righteousness from generation to generation forever. Psalm 106, 24 to 31. And here's the poem I wrote based on this psalm. On grumbling and complaining. Counting our blessings is a way to worship the Lord. Grumbling and complaining is dishonoring to God. When the Israelites whined and despised the land they were given, they began to rebel and ignored God's voice and provisions. They provoked the Lord to anger with their unfaithfulness. They forgot their covenant promise to a Lord who is full of grace. When we grumble, we fail to see the gifts that God has provided. Dissatisfaction is an open door for greed and more transgressions. Let us give up whining, instead let us be contented. Let us not focus on what we don't have, but what we can give. To grumble is to rebel and be dissatisfied with God's goodness. Let us replace this content with worship and thankfulness. Reflection. How can we catch ourselves when we begin to grumble and complain? If you are constantly in communion with the Lord, it is probably unlikely to grumble and complain. Because when you know the Lord and you know the things that He has provided for you, there is no reason to complain. But we can expose ourselves to the sin of grumbling and complaining when we become bitter, when we look back to the past and we recall painful things or things that we were not able to have. So when we start to grumble, I think the best way, because we're all sinful and we have this tendency to always think of ourselves. So I think one of the antidotes to grumbling and complaining is to have a thank you diary or a list of things, or counting your blessings. I did this when I read a book when I was 27, and I read a book about positive thinking. I didn't know that he was a Christian, but at that time I wasn't yet into the true religion. So I started, because I'm a very negative person, so in the past I always look at the things that are negative. So when you are in that filter of complaining, it is very hard to see the things that you have. So when I began to have a thank you diary at age 27, and I still have it up to now, so that's many years of counting the blessings, it changed my attitude from ingratitude to gratitude. So when we catch ourselves grumbling and complaining, we need to remember that the enemy is there to steal, kill, and destroy our peace and our joy and our relationship with the Lord. So we come to the throne of God, and we start to think of the things that God has done for us. That's the problem with the Israelites. They started to forget what the Lord has done, and so they started not to hear the voice of God, and so they started following their nature, which is sinful. And we do that all the time. But we can catch ourselves before we can get more into more other transgressions by being thankful and praising God. Thanks for watching. I hope you check my website at ilmaarts.com for artwork, photographs, and a copy of this blog. Please subscribe to my channel on YouTube so I could make more videos for the Lord. Thanks for watching.